make an approach up to B, but you can already see the OpTic have read this, Andy. They're there in numbers.
Oh man, look at the positions too. Just a beautiful B stairs, red room, arcade, all locked down. You're facing against Lucid in the arcade. Formal's challenging from the red room. Not easy to challenge those battles whatsoever. A little bit of a stalemate here as the battle for pillars continues.
Lucid gets the first pick as well, so OpTic have the numbers. It's a 55-0 lead. As finally, it looks like FaZe are going to break through. A trade on the B stairs is going to give a little bit of an equalization in the numbers, which allows FaZe to step up. Formal's going to step in. A grenade explodes in front of him as well. SnakeBite does get the kill, but has to play his life instead of jumping in that stronghold. The help now coming from the rest of FaZe. This has been heavy concentration from FaZe on recapturing B.
Yeah, it really has. They've spent a lot of time and energy on B. They will finally get the flip, and it does pay off, but at the expense of A and C simultaneously, so it just took them a little bit longer than they wanted to get B, and just like that, they will lose C, and now still be scoring. Excuse me, they'll get C, they'll lose A, so they will continue scoring here and getting a few points on the board.
Yeah, it was actually a good play from Royal 2 to distract in and around C. We see the Rockets going down and being heavily fought for. Both teams don't want to give those up. It was APG, I think, initially, who managed to take down the Rocket player from FaZe who picked those up. Now taking damage himself, but the follow-up damage was enough to make sure the Rockets do turn over into the hands of Formal. B still on the hands of FaZe as well as C. They are scoring here, Andy, but we haven't seen a triple cap yet. You can see the respect being shown by both of these teams. They don't want to force anything.
Yeah, right now you see FaZe with a really good run to get more points on the board. Also, just great timing, great patience there from Formal as he will help with the assist and get the rocket kill as well. New spikes will eventually take him down, but it looks like it took both of them. Unsurprisingly, B, though, being flipped here for OpTic, they will score once again with an A-B hold.
Yeah, it has been the scoring, which is kind of been transferred every time we've seen OpTic with the power weapon, the big power weapon, the largest of the power weapons. The Rockets in their hands. And for the first time, we see a momentary triple cap. FaZe should be able to quell that in just a few moments as Frosty and Royal 2 will work together to get A back into their control. But a 90-41 lead. And starting to extend here for OpTic. Royal 2 already taken down some of those shields, but there's a couple of players now helping him out to stay alive, and OpTic find themselves 3 dead.
Very good teamwork there on the Neons, as you said, just waiting. Royal 2 staying alive. He gets the help that he needed on Cafe, and eventually that will lead to a 3 dead momentarily, and we'll see if they can finish here on C. Should be able to. Frosty's going to help and make sure that that happens as well at C. Now they're scoring from an AC hold. However, already 103 points on the board for OpTic.
Yeah, interesting to see where these spawns come in as well. APG is going to be vital to that, and it looks like they are in and around the red room. So at the moment, OpTic trapped, but not trapped for long as they take down 2 members of FaZe, which opens up the opportunity for them to move in on A. But there's that spawn. It looks like the call has come out off the back of Trippy getting that information that C is the play. C is what we want to cap, and then we can trap FaZe here on the pink street.
Trippy knew he had to push. He has great damage, though, on both players on the Neons. We'll see if they can convert. Not going to be easy for OpTic because they've already lost 2 players. Formal tries to fly out. He's a bit late, though, in the end. And the really good presence bottom mid comes down. They start the Neon push. They eventually collapse bottom middle. Even though OpTic knew about those spawns, they couldn't get the angles. They couldn't get the timing. That's going to be 4 dead and a rocket grab here for FaZe.
All of OpTic trapped as well. See that the flank is going to come in. Lucid will be toast. Royal 2 picks up another as well, and this is where it's dangerous for OpTic. They have leveled the numbers momentarily, but the Rockets might just bring them back in the favor of FaZe, but no damage being done by Renegade with that rocket. Has to turn to the BR and rely on a little bit of teamwork in order to pick up one. A second will follow very quickly afterwards, and now FaZe are closing in on that OpTic gaming score. It's only a few points between the 2 teams.
It was 4 dead again. APG is your first spawner, so still really good control from FaZe as they've had essentially 3 to 4 dead for the last minute and a half of play. Not easy to do up against OpTic Gaming. The trip cap has continued. B will start to flip. However, we do see a lead change on your screen. FaZe will now go into the lead at the 118 mark after being down by about 80.
Oh, Trippy, really big from Trippy. Got out of that situation, no shields, and took 2 to the grave with him. That's going to slow down the push coming in on FaZe, trying to trap all of OpTic and B. And that's the difference here for OpTic. This could have happily been a triple cap for FaZe had Trippy not managed to pick up 2 kills on his way to the grave.
Once again, it was 3 dead. Say they slow things down just a bit, but FaZe still controlling the scoreboard as well as the Slaves. They now lead 135 to 116. Look at both Royal 2 and Renegade, 12 kills apiece.
Really strong start from the 2 standout Slayers on this team. Bill's been traded once again. Frosty now left as last alive. Does have the Stalker rifle, and it looks like OpTic have been successful in their push towards B. A couple of numbers falling in their favor. Frosty now just going to decide to take his time, do some damage onto these players in and around B. Picking off Trippy, certainly going to help with an option to push. And look how quickly they kind of react to that. SnakeBite, maybe his death here is just slow down the push. towards what looked like an attempt from FaZe to try and push up that pink streak and flip A back into their hands. But OpTic have held extremely well here. This hold has been really, really impressive considering the numbers that FaZe had for a few moments. They are scoring once again, and now we have another lead change here.
Yeah, question is where those rockets went. I think they went down bottom middle. They might be front C. We got to keep an eye, especially if there are still two left. Shroud will go down just to buy a little bit of time on that comfortable C cap. Curious, I think there they are. On B stairs should be one left, maybe for Renegade, and I think that will be him taken down. 2 dead for both sides.
And the Rockets finished out as well. It looks like OpTic try and make the play onto C. Needs to finish capping this one and will be able to do so. Lucid picks up the kill onto SnakeBite. That was a really important one as well because SnakeBite was in a position bottom middle to really cause some disruption, and it looks like OpTic are prioritizing the right kill at the right time, and the scoring is continuing for them.
Yeah, it certainly has, and OpTic now back in control of the game, and you can think maybe a little bit more comfortable as the game started to get away from them on the receiving end of an 80-point FaZe run. I think they're going to be very happy to be back in control of the map as well as the scoreboard here. 1 dead for each side and more pressure on B pillars.
3 dead here for OpTic Gaming, though. Kind of fell into the trap a little bit there that was being set by FaZe Clan. Last player alive was 4 more. He was trapped inside a tram and already damage being done. Now, off the back of this damage, the play call from FaZe has got to be clear and it's got to be true. Are we going to try and push the triple cap? Spawn's coming in PD and it's time to go forwards. Won't worry about the player behind you, but you got to worry about Trippy. He holds the line. Renegade trying to finish off the kill, but the shotgun could be the difference. It is the difference. Bang, bang goes Trippy as Renegade goes to the grave.
With the last shot as well. He dies, though, from the C-Balk angle, so now we're just about tied here at the 175 mark. And let's not forget, if you're just joining us, FaZe Clan lost every single one of the game types in this series except for this one, up against OpTic. They need to make sure they close out this game if they want to have a chance in this series.
FaZe trying to cap C. You can see B is being turned over by OpTic, though. The Rocket's coming up, and this could be the game-deciding rocket launcher. We've seen how it's kind of influenced the slays heavily, as you would expect. That kill from Renegade is going to create some space for a couple of his teammates to move in and around to pick up those rockets, and having picked up a few more kills, if I'm Renegade, I'm saying, you know what? I deserve these myself, but it gives them to a teammate.
Big timing there as they get the double kill, as you said. Right when the rockets are popping up, now still 1 rocket to play with, and they get the kill off the back of the first one. They get 2 double kill as well for Frosty as he is converting here, and they will be flipping B as well, and they have their eyes on A2.
Formal coming off a respawn, trapped in Cafe at the moment. Royal 2 is there, but isn't able to finish him off. Formal within a problem at the moment, but look at the teamwork from FaZe. Frosty realizes he's closest to that kill, steps away from the stronghold as another teammate steps into it, finishes it off before Formal can get those shields back, and it will now be FaZe. I was about to say go back into a lead. They do, but that back smack is huge.
Trippy goes up on Heaven, gets a back smack. How often do you see someone get back whack off of Heaven? It's a great route from Trippy there, sneaking in PD, and that might have been exactly what OpTic needed. It looked like that AC hold was going to be comfortable for FaZe, but they get Heaven ripped out from under them, and OpTic Gaming will continue scoring here at the 204 mark.
And that's what happens if you lose track of one player in this lobby. Weren't aware of where Trippy was. He hid away in PD, I'm pretty sure, and just survived long enough for teammates to get back on the map, and then having been forgotten about and concentration going elsewhere, FaZe have to change their plans, but the reset now comes in on C. Massive play coming in from FaZe here. They really committed to that, but B being stolen away at the same time. Frosty is there. Frosty stops APG. The question is now, can his teammates get close enough to stop this cap? Formal's inside the stronghold. The cavalry is arriving, but the reset now comes in, and FaZe are also working on A.
Yeah, FaZe with a big reset there for just a second. OpTic now starting to flip B as well as flipping C, though. They could have a BC hold here in just a moment, especially if Tram continues to be hold. It looks like on paper that should be it. Keep an eye on those new rockets as well.
C will be flipped. You can see that FaZe tried to make the play bottom middle to take Formal down. Weren't able to do so. Rockets coming up again. 2 players flying into B here. If you're Trippy, you wish you had a grenade at this point because it's probably a very simple double kill, but what's better than a grenade? It's the Rockets, but he doesn't get to pull the trigger. APG gets taken down. It's a big double from Renegade, and just at the right time, FaZe pick up kills. The Rockets still down on Laundry. Who's Lucid with that kill? Who keeps the Rockets out of the hands of FaZe for a few moments, but the Rockets, I think Royal 2's just found them, and more importantly, in the end game here, FaZe have got a triple cap.
Triple cap at the 230 mark. This is very dangerous. As you said, Rockets in hand as well. Lucid needed to be a hero there. He gets the first kill. Can't now. Here's the home stretch for FaZe.
This is going to be the game. Reset's going to come in on A, and even though OpTic are inside of B, I don't think they're close enough to even challenge a stronghold. FaZe Clan win it 250 to 211 in our first game of the day.
Wow, what a way to start off the day, and what a way to start off the series between these two teams. El Clasico always delivers here between FaZe and OpTic, and Charlotte was certainly an indication that we were going to have a hell of a season between these two teams, and to be honest, on par with every game we've seen between these two teams. FaZe in the end with an unbelievable run. Let's take a look at some highlights. And let's not forget, they were trailing by 80 points or more early on, and they mounted not just a comeback, but very strong mid and late game as well.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Renegade actually in that game. I felt like there was a few moments in that game where we always talk about impactful kills, getting kills when it matters. And I feel like OpTic were setting up around the rockets a couple of times, holding the map, being a little bit slow, and Renegade found a way to get through, pick up one kill, which completely just turned the attention of OpTic away from the rocket launcher to where is Renegade? What is Renegade doing? And that just allows map, that allows numbers elsewhere for FaZe to take advantage of and collapse in on those rockets. And I feel like Renegade's so good at doing that. Just when you feel the game is slowing down, he's not afraid to continue pushing and finding a kill for himself.
Absolutely, he'll blow the game wide open at times where you won't expect a player to make risky, bold plays. Renegade is your player to do it, and it seems with time he only gets better and better. Let's not forget, we were tied right at 175 as well. OpTic kept this game close and also leading several times around here. They were the first to cross the 200-point mark as well, but in the end, it was really good resilience and timing, especially the amount of kills that came in around the rocket grabs, like you say, Mark, really the difference maker in that game.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff there from FaZe in game number 1. But now we move over to Aquarius Slayer, and you said this game has been played between these two teams back in Charlotte when it really mattered, and it was OpTic, if I'm not mistaken, who came out on top.
It was. OpTic actually winning your winners bracket finals on this game, 50-40 in the end. We'll see if they could do it again and take a 2-0 lead in the series. However, FaZe, of course, tie up the series 1-1. However, FaZe looking to go 2-0 after this game.
Such an interesting map to have as our game number 2 as well. I always feel like Aquarius flag between these two teams is absolutely fascinating to watch. They're both so objectively efficient. They're so good at making sure that all their angles are covered. But off the break here, it's all OpTic. Camo in the hands here of APG. And he's got some info that he's sending out to his teammates as well.
Oh boy, look at this Cheeky from Royal 2 just staying alive there, eventually dynamoing out, and they have to take their time and get a little bit tactical with that kill. Looks like something out of a Tom Clancy novel. They will eventually get the kill in, and OpTic Gaming will now just continue steamrolling 5-2 here off the over.
Oh, Heatwave, 2 players from FaZe. Not what you want to meet there if you're APG, but Trippy's coming in looking to clean up that damage. Isn't able to do so because Frosty is taking everyone to the grave himself. FaZe get a 4 dead. OpTic Gaming all stuck on respawn. We're tied up at 5-5.
Wow, and a triple from Frosty as well. And then the first kill comes in. APG's the first to fall. And it was just 5-1. Now it's 7-5. 6 unanswered kills there from FaZe, and that Heatwave was perfectly timed around the corner.
Trippy trying to survive. Trade comes in from SnakeBite. Form will be taken out. And how quickly did FaZe just move across the map, by the way? We saw them get the numbers. 2 players from OpTic Gaming stuck in the back of the base. They had to deal with an onslaught of 4 FaZe players just flying at them.
I think one thing is for sure, people who maybe didn't catch the matches yesterday are wondering how on earth did this FaZe team lose 3-0 to Complexity on day number 1? I think it's safe to say this team came ready to play, and they are looking good here in your winners bracket quarters.
Sometimes you need the little reality check and realize that every single series is going to be tough. You know, there's $15,000 on the line. There's also, of course, qualification to Dallas. This is probably the most important online tournament of the year before we get that LAN season back underway, which is, of course, what everyone's really looking forward to in the next couple of months. But slender lead here for FaZe. He's being continually held. It just feels like they're 2 or 3 kills out of the hands of OpTic at this point as the camo comes up.
Keep an eye on camo here. Let's not forget, FaZe really controlled the Rockets the entirety of game number 1. It was a huge difference maker in the final score. We'll see if they can keep that up with the camo as well, as they now lead by 3.
Really interesting position here from APG. You can see he just snuck away for a second, got some good damage down, and that's allowed his teammate Formal to get that camo. Formal currently sat at 4-2 in this game, leading his team for assists as well. So doing what the human UAV does best, and now he can be a little bit more sneaky.
So much info, so much recon here. We'll see if he's going to be the one to make the move. We haven't seen his team composition behind him, so we'll have to see what kind of damage he can get. He's just waiting for his team to push up and get in position. Formal's going to look for the opening damage here.
Opening damage is done, but Frosty spotted him out. Frosty going to be re-challenging. And the longer this battle takes, the more Formal's camo becomes irrelevant. You can see it's already run out. And I've got to say, if you go 1-for-1 in that situation as FaZe, knowing that OpTic have got camo, you're going to be pretty happy.
The rest of OpTic rotated out. You might have noticed that Formal was checking straight stairs, but actually the rest of OpTic rotates out over to Fridge side, and so far the kills are just traded and exchanged throughout that. In the end, though, FaZe wins that battle. 17-13 now is the score, so on Formal's POV, interestingly, when he was focused straight stairs with Frosty, the reason Frosty was so okay with engaging was OpTic was actually all rotating out to Fridge, and it works out for them in the end. Now they have a 5 naked 6 kill lead.
FaZe Clan with that lead. Damage coming into the back here of Frosty, who currently sat at 8-3, and it's pretty crazy to say this, but feel like we talk about Frosty not enough on this FaZe lineup. Everyone else stealing the spotlight away, but it's Frosty we're talking about. The man knows how to get the job done. There's just only so many sentences you can say about great players at times. 20 kills has now been achieved by FaZe, 16 on the side of OpTic, but FaZe on the back foot for just a few moments here. It was OpTic who got the advantage in those fights, and now they're bringing it closer. It's just a 2-kill game.
SnakeBite was your last, and SnakeBite was your last player alive there for quite a while. He did everything he could to try to stay alive in that 1v1 versus Lucid. Made it a very difficult kill for Lucid in the end. Still a 5-kill game here. Still so impressed with OpTic's counter to that camo play. Using Frosty to get the eyes on camo, that gave all of OpTic permission to come out and rotate out. Still, I cannot wait to go back and hear the comms from that moment, because that was OpTic Gaming maybe at their best here. They still lead by 4.
FaZe still in the lead. 25 to 21. Still that 4-kill cushion. It's always been around 2, 3, 4 the entire time in the hands of FaZe. 3 kills the difference now between the two teams, as OpTic do put Frosty and Royal 2 into the death screen for a few moments. But this is what's impressive about the way that FaZe are approaching things. As I say that, APG takes a fantastic angle onto Royal 2 to clean up some damage, and all of a sudden, OpTic have numbers, and OpTic are making a push.
Wow, just like that. Make it still a 2-kill game at 27-25, and all that we were saying about that impressive FaZe rotate is now just slowly dwindling down as OpTic starts to rally back just a bit. Looking at the kills across the board, it's Frosty really the standout here, 11-7.
11-7. The game is now within 1. Make it 2. Royal 2 make it
double kill.
1 kill between the teams once again, as Trippy picks up that kill, and OpTic starting to get a lot of map control here. You can see they have the height. They're finding individual fights to take. Royal 2 and Frosty trapped in the back of the base. Trippy finds one, APG finds another, and OpTic go into a lead.
Wow, look at the way that Trippy just thrust there to close the gap. He did not want to lose APG at all costs. Nice 2v1 though in the fridge from FaZe. Keeps things interesting, and within 1 as well. Gonna pick up the kills. Still just a 1-kill game, and as we always say, the game starts at the 30 mark, and here we are essentially tied. Only 1 kill still separating the two.
Yeah, somehow FaZe come out of that kind of trading kills when both players were at one point no shields inside of that fridge. That shows the benefit of having a teammate alongside you. Buddy system is tale of as old as time in Halo. Being shoulder to shoulder means there's a couple of extra fists to be thrown if you do get in that close range encounter, but 36 to 32 off the back of that push by FaZe, they do re-establish that 4-kill advantage.
Lucid was your last player alive. He does really well to stay alive here. We'll see if he spawns the entire team on pink side as well, and they will live to tell the tale. That keeps the game within 3, but FaZe still applying really good pressure here.
FaZe have the camo as well. SnakeBite's going to have that in his hands. Now, he can do the job that Formal was doing a few moments ago for OpTic. Getting information, getting in a position to capitalize on damage. And with Royal 2 picking up 1 kill, that opens the door for Frosty now to move in alongside SnakeBite with this camo. You can see SnakeBite is just pinging frantically at the moment. Royal 2 moves in. Royal 2 is the beneficiary of all of this damage and information being relayed by SnakeBite. And now it is a 7-kill advantage here to FaZe.
That was 3 dead yet again. Lucid, back-to-back, your last player alive. This time he was stuck on fridge, knew that he couldn't push out, and this is tough for OpTic. Even though they have some crazy comebacks they've put together historically, this is not going to be easy. FaZe leading 42-33.
Oh, Frosty snaps on with that heat wave to take Formal down. Renegade follows up on the damage that was done in and around the pink tower to keep this a 10-kill advantage. And even though we've seen some crazy comebacks on Aquarius Slayer, notably one earlier, I was watching the EU qualifier between Na'Vi and Wobblebobs. This is one you don't expect a team like FaZe to throw away.
Absolutely not. 45-35. You're only 5 kills to go, and FaZe is likely just going to play the same exact game they've been playing here. Let's not forget, we were tied at 31, and it's a great run from FaZe to get themselves now only 4 kills away.
Frosty, like you mentioned, the standout, but if you're looking at teamwork, you're looking at statistics. I mean, one thing that always puts a smile on my face, Andy, is SnakeBite stats. 8, 10, and 6. 10 assists, still managing to go positive. Most assists on your team, you'll love to see that from a player.
Nearly double any player on the OpTic Gaming side as well. Like you say, just big numbers as they hit the 47 mark.
APG traded out 48 now. 10 kill, make that a 9-kill advantage for FaZe. SnakeBite last alive, but he knows his job is just to milk his life for a few extra seconds, let the rest of his teammates get back on the map. And even if you're OpTic Gaming, they make some crazy comebacks. We have seen that, of course, but I think they can probably realize against FaZe, this is just a step too far.
That's right, just 1 kill to go here. Pressure's coming in. This probably is going to be the final one. It gets robbed out, but the last kill will come in, and FaZe will take game number 2 as well. This time, turning the tables. They win this game 50-40, which is the exact score of the last time these two played. However, it was OpTic Gaming taking it last time. This time, it's FaZe taking the game, and now a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, very, very impressive, that performance from FaZe, and I think a lot of it goes back to that rotation out, like you mentioned, from the back of the base where it felt like they were trapped, and 4 more from OpTic was in front with that camo to getting enough space for Frosty to kind of slow down the camo. And to be honest, the way they slowed down the game, 4 didn't really get to have any impact with that camo, and off the back of it, those kills, they just kept kind of piling up in the favor of FaZe.
Yeah, I hope we get to see it in the replay. Here it is, right in the replays as well, as you see all this time. Look, APG flooding the back of the base, and I have to correct myself. I said it was OpTic Gaming at their best. I misspoke. It was, of course, FaZe at their best with the way that they played that and shutting down the OpTic Gaming camo. So impressed with that. I would have loved to have heard, and I'm going to have to go back in the VOD to hear the comms out of FaZe, because plays like that are the difference maker. And this is the second time that we've seen FaZe really in control of not just the game, but also the map, specifically power weapons, power-ups, and really impressed with what we're seeing from FaZe, and undoubtedly, they are a different team than they were yesterday.
Yeah, looking really, really impressive, and certainly looking like they're ready to go here and make a run towards what we would expect to be a grand finals appearance for this roster. Obviously, a long way to go for that before we find out if that's going to be the truth or if it's going to be something they're going to be disappointed about. But Livefire King of the Hill is next, and we've always talked about OpTic Gaming on Livefire. I think they will be more relieved than anything to see that as our next map.
Yeah, they certainly will, but let's not forget, in Charlotte, it was not as comfortable as win as maybe they're used to. It was only a 4-3 win in the winner's bracket final, so down to the last hill, and to be honest, as everyone knows, when you look at a King of the Hill that's 4-3, there are so many factors that went into that game becoming 4-3, so many small nuances that really it becomes a coin flip the next time they play each other, right? It's going to come down to, as we've said, every single scenario against these two teams, who is able to outplay, just out-juke one another. Little moments like we saw with that great camo bait to allow for a rotate, things like that, high-level Halo, high IQ Halo being played between these two, and that's why it's been a treat to see them really ever since Charlotte. Just the way that they're going back and forth against one another, and it's been the same online, and it looks to be the same here today. And you can bet that OpTic Gaming, based on the results yesterday, probably were not expecting this hot of a FaZe coming into the winner's quarters.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, and I think one of my favorite things about Livefire King of the Hill is I feel like it's the most influential power-up use and kind of importance to get a hold of in any of the game types, because if you get an overshield on any of these hills, it really does lock down the hill for such a period of time if you use it effectively. And I think the first hill on the first overshield is such an interesting battle for me, because you have one team that of course spawns in towards the garage, probably has better access and priority to that hill, but then you have the other team who gets the shroud screen and access to overshield, and you get that split of resources, and it always feels like whoever wins the overshield battle, if it gets negated immediately by the team who got the hill first, then they kind of just clean the hill up, whereas if the overshielded player gets kind of the rotation, then you get set up for the next hill if you're the team that wins it. So it's kind of these, well, what's the word? The butterfly effect. That's what I'm looking for of where that overshield falls, especially in that first battle.
Certainly, I think between OpTic and FaZe, what's going to be a treat is the way that they use the overshield on the following hills as well, right? Because you can get really crafty and really nerdy with overshield play. For example, an overshield grab on the overshield hill itself, you can sit window, you can wait and bait and cuts. There's all these different things that you can do timing-wise to really outthink, outmaneuver, and outplay your opponent, and that's exactly what these two teams will look to do. FaZe right now leading 2-0 in the series, only one game away from taking it 3-0.
A little bit of Trippy POV, a treat it always is to start the day. As we go over to Lucid, we're going to quite rightly do so as well, because he has the sniper rifle pretty much uncontested, but Frosty making the play to pick up the green gun. The plasma pistol means that the overshield battle becomes even more interesting now. Lucid can't quite connect, and there is Frosty on the flank, and that was a momentary 3 dead for OpTic Gaming. Hill time heavily in the favor already of FaZe, but Trippy has got the overshield. Now, can he make it work? Taking on a player in the nest, Renegade, who's got the heat wave. It gets absolutely decimated, and now you can see Renegade's having a bit of fun.
Wow, look at this. All this damage. 3 dead again. Lucid is your last player alive. How many times have we said that over the last few minutes, including last game as well? Lucid, your last player alive. He's taken down. That means more spawn rotation nastiness for the side of OpTic Gaming. FaZe is looking good on this first hill, now only about 25% of the way.
Yeah, really, really good. They got early hill time. They picked up the first slays. The overshield came up. It was OpTic who got it. That was their way back towards breaking the hill, but they didn't have weapons, and it was Renegade who put them to use and put OpTic back into the death screen. screen. It's already 1-0. That's about as perfect as a first hill, I think, as you can expect from any team at any level.
FaZe has so much to be proud of on that first hill. How about the fact that they isolated and completely stayed away from Lucid when he was on Nest Bridge? And only when they challenged from green did they also push C-Plat as well. At the perfect timing, all of the plays that they put together led to that first hill, a very strong one. However, OpTic, they do now answer back. They had 3 dead, and now they will begin scoring here on our second hill.
SnakeBite trying to be a nuisance just in and around those pillars. Lucid can't deal with him, and the repulsor jump is going to get him into a position here to at least force OpTic Gaming out of that hill. Knowing that SnakeBite is there and has the height overlooking all of those players is going to be important, but the overshield just as important. Trippy stays alive, gets the shroud down, and should be able to pick it up. And even though SnakeBite was doing so much damage, Trippy just managed to sneak away.
SnakeBite does get the kill there on Formal, which is big on the dummy door as well. Let's see what the overshield does for Trippy. It's a big melee that comes in from Renegade to take the overshield off. He needed to make sure he got that melee in the end before he's taken down. He does, however, it's still 2 dead for FaZe, so it's really nice timing there with Trippy. He didn't want to fly out of cuts as he goes nest right away. He knows exactly where SnakeBite is on these boxes. He's hungry for more, and he gets the kill as well. But take a look how he didn't fly out of cuts and just maybe get back whacked, maybe get meleeed, maybe get naded. He kind of inched up cuts, and that allowed him to make sure that they slowly took down C-Plat as well as they look to close out this second hill.
2 overshields in a row for OpTic. Trippy is having fun right now. He is really on a tear. Renegade is going to back down. A little bit of help coming in from Lucid, but look how aggressive all of a sudden OpTic Gaming are being. The hill gets captured. It's 1-1. They're already trying to push onto that next rotate, and Trippy is on one hell of a run at the moment. It's a spree for him. 5 in a row for Trippy.
Wow, look at this run. 7-3 in this game, and like you said, finally he gets taken down because 3 players are on tower and C-Plat. One of them, of course, being Frosty with the snipe that helps take him down. He had the angle on Formal as well, and now they're going to push. But OpTic Gaming with 3 dead there, looking very, very good, and looks like they're waking up here. Let's not. A little bit of a brainer comes in against Lucid. He wants to hit the second as well. It'll be an easy double for the finish. It's not done yet. Going to turn the corner. The repulse comes in perfect. It's a triple kill on your screen for Frosty. He picks up another one. There might be even more. We'll see if he ran out of time. It's a killing spree in the end. Still a fantastic run from Frosty.
Yeah, 4 in a row is good enough for FaZe to break into this hill. He's hitting bodies as well as OpTic try and flood through the big door. And Frosty taking over this series a little bit. We saw him in that game number 1, putting up some great stats. Game number 2, he was leading the way for his team and sat at 7-3 in this game as well. He needs to stop Trippy getting hold of another overshield. Royal 2 comes in just in the nick of time to make sure that Trippy doesn't secure that overshield for OpTic Gaming once more. And Royal 2 with another beautiful 4-shot puts OpTic Gaming 2 dead.
Very nice shots on the fadeaway there. It was 2 dead for both sides. Keep an eye on this overshield. Formal is there. Lucid's trying to help as well as Trippy. Let's see who's going to grab this one. Trippy does not get it. Still alive. Still on the overshield platform.
Lucid and Formal managed to stay alive, but the shroud is going to go down, and that's going to be the first overshield now going to FaZe. And with the hill how it is, with both teams pretty much tied up on time that they've managed to put on the board, overshield inside of the hill could be a difference maker here. The spike grenades, the little nerf, that makes it a little bit less effective just to spike out that hill.
I swear it also came through the pillar. The new spikes might know something that I don't, but in the end, a little bit of damage taps through. 2 dead for both sides. Trippy, actually, your last player alive, which will mean more time on the board for FaZe. They should get this point as well.
Should be able to lock this one down. A couple more kills will certainly give it to them. Lucid's going to make one more play for it, but it's going to cost him his life as FaZe go up 2-1, and now we move down towards the overshield hill. SnakeBite already set up inside of the hill.
And just at the time that you thought OpTic Gaming was starting to wake up in this series, maybe getting a little bit of heat, how about that run from Frosty to hit those 4 straight kills? Really slowed down all of that OpTic Gaming momentum.
Really did indeed, and now good control of the map also in the hands of FaZe, and SnakeBite doing what he does best, standing in that objective, dealing out damage for the rest of his teammates to take advantage of. Lucid's going to be clearing out Garage, and I love this play from SnakeBite as well. Realizes he's got someone near him in the hill. Now he goes to wrap back through Garage, try and find out where Lucid's position is, but he can't find him. Reason being that SnakeBite has already killed him.
Yeah, right there. He's going to just hold down sandbags, make sure no one's coming through. SnakeBite's still holding the pillar here. Here comes the clutch push from APG. He's not afraid. He flies in, but Royal 2 with the perfectly timed repulse again. That's the second time we've seen really, really great repulse work there coming in from FaZe. They will get the point again. They now lead 3-1, only 1 point away from closing out this series 3-0.
I feel like that hill is the money hill for a lot of teams. If they can lock it down, get control of one of the plants in the tower, it's so difficult to break against some of the best players in the world. And FaZe are going for blood here. You see them being aggressive. You see them holding forward. You also see Frosty with the snipe in his hands once again. The inside of that hill hill. Frosty wants to get control of tower, but not before picking up the kill here on APG.
SnakeBite also had that overshield as well. We'll see if he manages to get some damage. I know he picked up another kill already since picking it up. Eventually, Frosty will fall, but still make sure the kills are traded out. OpTic Gaming still with 2 dead. Already halfway done on the game-winning hill is FaZe Clan.
Game-winning hill, series-winning hill as well. It'll be a 3-0 sweep from FaZe if they manage to close this game out. On this 5th hill, Renegade's got the sniper rifle in his hands once again, and we've already seen Frosty go to work with it. Renegade knows how to put that weapon to use as well. Formal trying to just kind of distract and stay alive, but look how quickly OpTic Gaming are being hunted down right now. Every time that you're on a POV of FaZe, you see the swarm coming in.
Trippy's your last player alive. He's on pillars. He's not even able to be a threat. Lucid, your second spawner, he gets taken down. This should be it with 2 dead still for OpTic. This is an opportunity here. Only a few points away for FaZe.
Yeah, desperation coming in from Trippy. Formal trying to do what he can to get in and around that hill, and at least OpTic Gaming for a second force FaZe outside of the hill. 2 minutes left on the clock, so a lot of time here for FaZe. They don't need to rush this. They can be very surgical in the way they take this setup apart, and with 3 players from OpTic Gaming dead and only one in position to stop this, FaZe look like they're going to close this out here. It's going to be a 4-1 win, a 3-0 sweep over OpTic Gaming, and that is the FaZe we expected to see yesterday.
Wow, I don't think many people would have placed bets on a 3-0 FaZe win here in your winner's corners, especially based on the performance that we saw from FaZe yesterday, raising some questions. However, FaZe is ready to put them to rest up against the #1 seed in the...
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.